Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Javon Alexander's Up for the Argument. This is Javon Alexander speaking tonight. Oh, how you guys doing out there in the sports world? Good to hear it. Good to hear it. Now, today's segment is about Cam Newton and how First Take did what they did to him, and ESPN what they did to him the other day. Firstly, I want to start off by I saw the interview Cam Newton did, and I gotta tell you, folks, by that interview alone, all I heard and saw was a guy that played football on a very high level in the NFL, also a very high level in college, very high level in college, and one of the best quarterbacks I think we had in the last 10 years, 15 years or so. I think he's up for a opinion for every now and then. I don't like every time somebody gives their opinion about something on sports. Some people are seeing negative when he's only giving his opinion. So some people in sports media can give their opinion, but it's not okay for ex-athletes to give their opinion. It's always considered bias or they got a motive or some shit like that. But yeah, excuse me. Anyway, Cam went off by stating the quarterbacks who he thought were game managers. For instance, those guys that don't turn the ball over much, stick to the script, run the playbook that the coach has for them, that's just manage it with a really good defense, but manage the game. Just not to turn the ball over and not to lose. Okay, that's a game manager. Alex Smith was one of the pioneers of game management. He used to play for the Chiefs. As you all remember, the former Chief quarterback, Alex Smith, he was a game manager. Didn't turn the ball over, didn't throw many interceptions, stuck to the script, 15 here, 10 there, 8 here, dink and donks. You could even say Tom Brady was a game manager at some point because he was in a system, Belichick's at the time. But Cam, he went on to stating guys like Brock Purdy, guys like Dak Prescott, a couple other quarterbacks he said were game managers. Okay, that's opinion. Excuse me. He had two. I figured out a couple of them right. But here's the way it goes foul. The topic of First Take about this particular subject was Cam Newton out of bounds for giving his opinion? Was he out of bounds? Was that former NFL quarterback who really did play on a high level, had a couple good winning seasons, was he out of bounds for giving his opinion on football? They dissected this dude and they talk horrible about him as if he was trying to have ulterior motive for saying those things. Like we understand he would like the quarterback again in the NFL. Okay, we get that. But he wasn't throwing no shade on none of those guys. Matter of fact, he just said in particular what a game manager was and who he thought was a game manager. But yet, they could sit there and say he's out of bounds, this is closed. So that thick black girl that be on First Take, the pretty one that's married to the white guy, she went ham on him on both shows. Get Up, she was on Get Up on ESPN and she was talking about him very badly. As a matter of fact, this one guy on Get Up, he compared what Cam said. He said exactly what Cam said, but he said it in a total different way. And also admitted to it. And the other guy cut him off. Oh no, you sound like Cam, because he was making sense. And what he basically said was, it's no different than a chef and a cook. Some guys, you just put them in the kitchen and you let them cook whatever's there to cook. That's game magic. He said guys like Aaron Rodgers and Peyton Manning were chefs. They can throw their own shit in there, ingredients or whatever. We know that. Brett Favre was a chef. We know that. Do you really think Dak Prescott is a chef? No, I know he's having a good year. No, take nothing from him. But people ain't convinced that he is what he is unless he go to the big show and win it. Or stop being suspect in the playoffs. I think Cam's right about him. And I think Cam's right about Brock Purdy being a game manager. You know, a couple other guys he threw out there as game managers too. They could possibly fall into the line of game managers. I'm not quite sure all the quarterbacks he named as game managers, but and I know he didn't name Carson Wentz as one. He didn't name a couple of them, but he named the ones that really could go for game managers. But for ESPN to do what they did to him, I do believe it's wrong. And Stephen A. Smith had the audacity to say that, to imply that Cam was a low-level quarterback. That dude had a couple good standout seasons, man. Couple good ones. Hell of a plays, that man. And you know, you don't diminish a man's character for his opinion. Therefore, whether you agree with it or not, you don't diminish his character or tear the man down for his opinion, especially speaking on something he played. Since when are we going to stop doing that, folks? When are we going to stop doing that as a people to our own people? And the white guys, they're making a case for Brock Purdy. And I think it was all targeted because he mentioned Brock Purdy. If he'd have mentioned those other quarterbacks, it wouldn't have said the white quarterback that they really like trying to build up as the next John Elway or some shit. Brock Purdy. Now the white boys on TV were mad. They was like, no, Brock Purdy's not a game manager. Brock Purdy's this and that. Look here, brother. That team was that team when they had Garoppolo throwing. That team was that team when they had other quarterbacks doing what they did. As long as Debo Samuel's found line, everybody gave the defenses there. Kittle do his thing, everybody do his thing. You just get the ball to those guys, then you're good to go. Because that's how Shanahan works. So how dare they sit there and say all this bullshit? Oh, he throws laser darts, throws, and he does. He's accurate, yes he is. But he's still a game manager. Just because you're accurate and you can make good throws don't mean you're not, per se, a game manager. A game manager just don't turn the ball over. He falls within that particular system. Okay, so we're really debating this type of stuff now on ESPN? Really? Or just picking on people that really were good? And if you ask me, Brock Purdy ain't near the quarterback Cam Newton was. Cam Newton didn't have all that around him like Brock does. You see? They are out of bounds for that. So, you know, if you look at it, yeah, I'm a little ticked off at First Take. And I'm very, very ticked off at Get Up on ESPN because those two shows really just tore a brother down. You know, she opened with, I can't get over what he was wearing. Look, it ain't about what he was wearing. Okay, so we're going to talk about what Cam was wearing out because he said what he said was the reason why y'all brought it up, not what he ain't on. People wear what they want to wear, but you can't, you know, tell that to some guys, some girls, especially when they work for ESPN for little or no money and countless hours. Did you hear Charles Barkley? I'll never work for ESPN. They don't pay you, and they work the shit out you, which is true. Even people, those guys be on ESPN every show all day out, and I'm like, damn, these people everywhere, they don't never sleep. But they got the nerve to talk about somebody that has played NFL, and sure, so what, he wants to play again. No knock on him. No reason to knock him down. See, that's the thing that we don't realize is that black people, once we get up there, we feel like the white man can tell us, knock us all down, no matter what we say or how we give our opinion. If it was a white quarterback gave that opinion, if it was Tony Romo would say the same thing Cam said, it wouldn't have been an issue, and I know this. They wouldn't say, oh, he's trying to get views. He's trying to get people to listen to his podcast. He's trying to do this. Why dare they? When they do the same exact thing to get people to watch their show. If that's the case, then why would they bring Shannon Sharp over, knowing the turmoil he was going through? Because it was a controversial move, and they knew people would watch it because they were intrigued. So they did that to stick it to Skip Bayless and also get Shannon Sharp on the show to get more views. They do shit to get views. They speak on shit that ain't about sports. That's controversial. They make their own opinions on things that ain't all exactly about sports all the time. Why? To get views. They want the juice. So, in my opinion, don't knock another man down. They did this shit with Kwame Brown. They did this shit. Now they trying to do shit with Cam Newton. And where they did Kwame was, and Kwame, I think he should just let it go. Kwame was too bitter over that world's tallest former comment. Because even to this day, he still, any chance he could take a shot at Shannon Sharp about the former comment, he would say that every chance he get. But yeah, the thing with Cam though, it just made me disgusted to actually see it go down. And you know, Kwame brought me there to watch it because I was actually listening to Kwame, his show. I listened to Kwame's show, and it dawned on me, damn, I didn't know this was doing. I was crucifying Cam, so I really checked it out to see what happened. And I gotta tell you, within 40 seconds of listening to Stephen A. talk, I wanted to hop on here and just start blasting at them and just going all in. But I saved it for the night. You know, I had time to sit here and just let it chill before I get on there and start talking, cursing, and yelling about something that made me outraged to hear him say. He opened the show. Is Cam Newton out of bounds? That's how he opened it. That was the topic name of it. And he also had the nerve to try to say, well, there are only two quarterbacks in NFL history that did such and such and such and such, and you're one of them. And you know, it was a sorry stat that Stephen A. threw out there and was trying to make him look worse. Because the man said he thought those dudes were game managers. You want to sit there and talk about him in front of the world like that in a negative light? See, that's what I'm saying. Y'all out of bounds. ESPN, First Take, Get Up in the Morning. You guys are wrong, okay? You guys are sitting there being negative, okay? This guy didn't say nothing negative like you guys said about him. And I strongly believe that ESPN owes that man an apology for what they tried to do to him. Cam, I'm with you, bro. If you feel like those dudes game managers, that's your opinion. That's how you feel. I'm not saying go, but they're not, and try to start a big old argument and fight with you. I'm not like that. So, you know, that's where it lies at with me, man. Yeah, I mean, it's what, Friday night. Could be doing many other things, but I have to get this off my chest, folks. Tomorrow, I think we're gonna be giving some picks tomorrow. We're gonna be analyzing the week in review. Tomorrow is as a matter of fact, it is Saturday. My bad. Tomorrow is Saturday. You know what that means, folks? Javon Alexander's up for the argument. Weekend in review. Weekend in review, folks. So don't miss it. It's an obligation of mine. We have to be on tomorrow, 9 a.m. sharp, 10 a.m. Central Time. Okay? We're going to be on. We're going to be on. And tomorrow, if you're bettors and you gamblers out there, you people just want to make your picks, I decide to listen to the show tomorrow morning and try to peep game, understand where I'm coming from with my stats and my picks, and it may help you make your picks and decisions. I don't know. Maybe you agree with me, maybe you won't. But if you if you disagree with me, leave a comment. And if you agree with me in my picks, still leave a comment. Leave a comment. I would like to know your thoughts on my picks tomorrow and me breaking down the weekend review. And yeah, that's all I gotta say, man. No, it's like I got that off my chest. I feel better because I want to kind of expose the shit, call them on it. And this means that every time I catch Stephen A. Smith or any of those guys in some shit that's out of bounds, trust me, I will address it right on here on Javon Alexander's Up for the Argument. You can bet your ass on that, and I'll be 100% unbiased, okay? Because it's not about me, it's not about them, it's about the athlete, you know, and the sport itself. We're not going to sit here and take personal shots at a guy for what he feels and believes in. No matter if you agree with it or not. I have to agree with what he was saying. And maybe I do, maybe I don't. But guess what? It don't change what I feel. That's it, man. Thought respected. Like they say, respect is mine. That's like some old real deal street shit. Respect that man mine. That's Cam Newton anyway. I listen to him before I listen to any of you jokers about quarterbacking because he's an actual quarterback that actually threw the ball in the NFL. So I will take his opinion over any of y'all's any day. Stephen A. Smith and all you other guys trying to give y'all opinions on something y'all never played. Y'all basketball guys. Come on. Internet woman, I still know her name. Shit. Go make a couch or something. You have no right to sit there and talk about Cam. Okay, you're just a beat writer, first of all. And really not that good a beat writer. That's why you don't make no money. You work for ESPN. Well, with that being said, folks, I think we're going to close this out tonight. It's 8:54 p.m., Shreveport, Louisiana. And I'm signing out for Javon Alexander Up for the Argument. And we'll be back on tomorrow for another segment and starting on Weekend Review. Thank you, folks, and Godspeed and good night.